This one is by Think Before You Sleep. It is called Why Are We Enabling This? Yes, why are we enabling stupidity? Well, that's a good question. I have no idea. I guess because we're too afraid to offend people. They're too afraid to hurt their tiny little feelings. Wah. Oh yeah, let's get right to the video.
Ready? I don't think you're ready.
I'm not ready.
Get ready.
No.
All right, y'all. Your girl Jay is officially going to FatCon 2025. That's right, Seattle, Washington. I'm coming for you.
Okay. Who are you?
It's sad to know that there is such a thing called FatCon. That shouldn't be a thing. That shouldn't exist. Because being okay with being overweight and having all the health problems that come with it shouldn't be a thing. But sadly it is. People are okay with being fat. Like, if it makes you happy, it makes you happy, but it really shouldn't. I myself am overweight, and trust me when I say it's not great. It sucks. It really sucks.
I like the added touch of her not being able to set down the 200-calorie drink to tell people that she's going to an
She has sausages for fingers.
obesity convention. But now I'm interested. Let's hear about FatCon.
So, for those wondering what FatCon is, well, it's literally what it sounds like. It's a fat liberation convention taking place in Seattle, Washington. FatCon has so much to
The only thing that needs to be liberated is food from their fucking mouth.
offer, like tons of programming and keynote speakers and movement classes and literally like everything.
I think there's so many jokes that can be made. So many jokes. There are movement classes. You're gonna need a lot of those. You guys don't move enough.
You could possibly dream of.
Except for nutrition classes. I noticed how we got the exercise classes in there because walking like 10 steps and doing some chair yoga is not that hard. But we forgot really the only education that matters for them, which is learning how to eat less. Conveniently, the convention has everything but that as far as I can see. Let's get more into it, but first, let me tell you about this video's sponsor.
Hang on. FatCon will feature tons of themed meet and greets for people to link up with fat people of different backgrounds. Pilots and yoga demos, as well as workshops on parkour. Can someone explain to me how a fat person that can barely get half an inch off the ground can do parkour? Sex, water sports, and powerlifting? Genuine fat people don't do powerlifting. I'm surprised a lot of them can have sex with, how are they able to find the fucking hole? How are they even able to fucking reach? Water sports? Okay. Additionally, fat, I can make fun of all this stuff because I myself am a fat person, so fuck off. Additionally, FatCon is also hosting a Fat Babe Marketplace featuring 12 vendors selling photography, clothing, jewelry, and other products made specifically for fat bodies and lives, as well as a fashion exhibit showcase. It's an immersive event that Pucks hopes will... That makes no sense. Will serve as a launch point in the future. At the end of the day, we want people to leave the event being like, I got the phone number of the person who I can call, and I'm not going to feel like I'm doing all this on my own, they said. It's just... Okay.
As far as I can see. Let's get more into it, but first, let me tell you about this video's sponsor, Raycon. It's been a few months since I did my first Raycon ad spot, And now that I've had more time to use the everyday earbuds, I have to say that I really like these things. The people at Raycon seem to have a great understanding of what features their customers want. For example, my favorite feature is the ability to pair my earbuds with 2 different devices simultaneously. So if I want to be connected to my laptop and my phone at the same time, I can do that. Raycon everyday earbuds also come with active noise cancellation, an 8-hour battery life on a single charge, and a 32-hour battery life if you let them recharge in the case. So basically, these things never run out of battery. And in the off chance that you
I basically kind of have the same thing, except mine's not Raycon, it's Skull Candy. I like the Skull Candy product. They're really good.
forget to charge them, Raycons have a quick charge function that will give you 90 minutes of battery on a 10-minute charge, which is plenty of power to get you through something like a workout. Speaking of working out, my second favorite thing about these earbuds is that they fit really well into the ear and do not fall out. So, if you want to check out Raycon's everyday earbuds, then go to buyraycon.com/TBYS to get 20% off. That's buyraycon.com/TBYS or click on the first link in the description. All right, welcome to FatCon. The big
FatCon is back for 2026, January 16th through the 18th, Seattle. The biggest oh, God, the jokes write it themselves. On the West Coast is celebrating our 3rd year, and we want you to be part of it. FatCon has hours of programming, amazing keynote speakers, a fashion show, a marketplace, and more. The whole event is geared towards generating fat joy and building a fat community. You absolutely don't want to miss out on the action. Well, considering how much fat is going to be there, I highly doubt anybody's going to be able to miss anything.
biggest fat convention on the West Coast. FatCon has been going on for 2 years now, and it takes place in Seattle, Washington. At the convention, you can hear a talk from one of the excellent guests, you can meet a real-life mermaid, you can tape a paper to a door that says slut, you can eat ice cream,
When Postmates delivers 6 times the amount of ice cream you ordered, you have no choice but to share. I knew my fellow fatties would appreciate some gourmet ice cream, and they sure did.
That sounds like a real time and a half. What a memory. And of
God, that sent a shiver down my spine.
course, don't forget the fashion shows because there's a lot of fashion at this convention. But most importantly, FatCon is all about bringing people together in larger bodies to spread fat joy.
Fat joy to me is letting go of shame and allowing myself to feel good in the body that I have.
I'm sorry, but there ain't no way any fat person genuinely feels good in a, as they call, a fat body. I've been fat for a long time. I can tell you for a fact that it is not fun. It does not feel good. I'm constantly tired. I always ache. I have plenty of, problems physically. I'm really fucking lazy, so I haven't been able to lose weight. I'm so fucking addicted to pop. I say as I have a cup of Mountain Dew here. So it's just I don't think there is really genuinely such thing as fat joy. I don't see how being fat is joyous in any way, shape, or form. And trust me, there is a lot of shape and form there.
I am glorifying obesity.
It's these type of people that should not have a platform, because glorifying obesity is something that should not happen. Obesity is it's a bad thing. I can guarantee you that if a lot of these people lost all the weight that they have, a lot of the health problems that they have would go away. Because despite what people think, a lot of the health problems a lot of people have is directly correlated to their weight, to them being fat. So if they lost all the weight and got healthy and fit, they wouldn't have a lot of the health problems they have, a lot of the joint problems they have. And yet they refuse to believe it. They like to live in their own fantasy world.
Every day, and that is my fat joy.
Why does this woman talk like she owns more than 5 cats? I mean, I'm getting the vibes of someone who not only glorifies obesity, but also cheerfully says the term fur babies a lot.
Fat joy, in all of its expressions, is a rebellion.
It's a rebellion. Again, what is it a rebellion of? I don't... What are you rebelling against? Gravity? It's just... Okay.
Of our culture tell us that we're only allowed to be fat as long as we're trying to get thin, or as long as we're healthy and completely able.
That's not a rebellion, that's called giving up. You find joy in not being healthy and not being completely able? Anyway, FatCon's goal is not just to bring people together to spread fat joy. It feels like its true motive is on the website here, where it says, "Our mission is to improve the lives of fat humans through art, health, and public policy. We don't seek acceptance, we seek fat liberation." What the hell is fat liberation?
Wait. It can be, by improving visibility and uplifting the voices of people. Well, you don't really need to improve visibility. It's hard not to see you. And to uplift anything, yeah, good luck. You're too fucking heavy to lift anything. You're gonna need a forklift to lift your fat ass. Like I said, I could say this shit. I'm fat myself. I'm over 300 pounds. So, yeah. Come at me, I dare ya.
Liberation. Fat liberation aims to reclaim power over fat bodies and lives so that folks can live free from discrimination and persecution. Oh, so you're like oppressed because you eat too much pizza. That seems to be what they're saying here.
Hang on. What else did that say? First of all, they misspelled folks. Fucking idiots. And it also says, fat liberationists recognize that protests and collective action are the key to our freedom. Oh, I feel like I'm losing IQ points by the minute.
Saying here.
For those of you who don't know NAFA is the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance. We want to build...
We should not accept being fat. We should not. As a society, we should not be accepting that. Because it is unhealthy and it is a quicker way to die. I mean, look at all the spokeswomen and whatever who have tried to make podcasts or whatever about it. They've all died and they didn't even reach 50. Hell, they didn't even reach 45. One of them died in their early 40s. Most of them died in their 30s. If that doesn't tell you that this shit ain't good for you, I don't know what will.
Build a movement where 100 million Americans have a political identity as fat.
What this person who is still pointlessly wearing a mask in 2025 is saying is that instead of actually fixing their life problems, they're going to try to bully the government into giving them special protections, as if they were like confined to a wheelchair from a spinal injury, or if they were people with real disabilities that aren't self-inflicted. That's what this convention seems to be mostly about, and this kind of ideology has been quite an annoying trend of the radical left.
FatCon is like a far left gooner convention for fat women. Like half the women there are prostitutes, and there is a ton of weird public sexual kink material at the convention. In an effort to keep people from vomiting, I have decided to largely leave this out of the video. So half of this convention is political activism and the other half is a bunch of sexual degeneracy. Yeah, there is a certain fetish community that is it's disgusting and it's creepy as all fuck. It's called the feeder eater fetish, where one person is the eater and they are a fucking whale, and the other person is, and it's normally somebody who is either fit or skinny that is feeding this person, getting them fatter because their cellulite turns them on, and it's Look, I got nothing against people's kinks. You know, you like what you like, but it is creepy. It is creepy. It is weird. It's just enabling something that will kill you faster.
I have this self-inflicted problem, and instead of fixing it, I demand that everyone cater to me.
Yeah, these people, I'm probably going to pause a lot because I have a lot to say about this fucking stupidity. These people take no accountability and no responsibility or anything like that for their own actions. They think that it is because of society and everyone else's fault that they have gotten to the size that they are. And they refuse, and I mean vehemently, absolutely refuse, to take any accountability and responsibility for their own actions. It is through their own decisions and actions that they have gotten to the size of a fucking whale. And they make the earth rumble with every fucking step. So it's just, I don't get what's so wrong with taking responsibility. Like for me, I got this big because I kept eating out of boredom. It is through no one's fault but my own that I have gotten this big. So I can't blame anybody for this because it is no one else's fault but my own that I have gotten this big. So, and I can't expect the world around me to accommodate to my size because the stuff we make is normally made for people who are supposed to be of what human size is supposed to be, what we are normally supposed to be. We're supposed to be of, average or fit size. That's how the human body should be. We shouldn't be getting this big. It's something the human body should not be doing, but amazingly it does. Somehow it can stretch this much, but we shouldn't be getting this big. And like hallways, planes, chairs, bedrooms, all these sort of things. These people of the fat communities, these fucking whales, expect the world to conform to their size because they refuse to take any accountability for their own stupidity. And it's just a whole woe is me thing.
I'm dedicating 2025 to fighting for the Fat Equality Bill of Rights, and I want you to be part of this revolution.
That was the girl from the start, and she has eaten herself into having such severe breathing problems that she has to use an assisted breathing device for most of the...
See, right here. It would not get to this point if she would stop shoveling, if she would stop taking a garden shovel to, shove unhealthy food and shit down her fucking throat. Like, put down the fucking, shovel, put down the fork and spoon, eat a carrot, have a salad, go for a fucking walk. But no, she continues to eat herself into an early grave. And now she's gotten to the point where she has to have oxygen. And she doesn't seem to see a problem with this. And she's still, if she doesn't, she's probably in her 30s. If she doesn't stop, she's going to die before she's fucking 40.
the day as a young person.
Fat individuals face
she's 24. Okay, if she keeps this up, she's going to die before she's fucking 30. Or at most in her early 30s, she's going to die if she doesn't stop any of this.
Nobody should have to live with. Whether it's being turned away from a doctor's office, not fitting into seats on public transportation, or being unfairly judged in the workplace. These aren't just inconveniences. They're human rights violations.
Okay,
and you're violating your own fucking body by constantly shoveling shit down your gullet. And maybe stop eating a pizza a day and you'll maybe lose some weight.
Human rights violation if you can't fit into a chair at a restaurant. Maybe she can sue them like that girl sued Lyft because she was too obese to fit into a car.
I remember this. Oh, the guy stopped her from going into the car because the car had an actual weight limit. And if she got in the car, the weight limit of the car would have been exceeded. And it would have done actual damage to the car. And she got upset because She's a fucking whale.
Just like the civil rights movements that have reshaped history, we're fighting for a world where fat people are treated with fairness, not just tolerance. This is about the right to exist without fear of discrimination, exclusion, or ridicule.
You are being treated fairly. You get the same size chair as everyone else. It's equal. What you're asking for is called privilege.
Let's push for the Fat Equality Bill of Rights to become a law, because your body deserves justice. We deserve justice.
If your body deserves justice, well, you're pretty much violating that, little lady. Oh, I can't say little lady. You're violating that, big lady.
So join me. Head to change.org.
You want to do your body justice? Put down the fucking pizza and ice cream. Eat a salad.
/fat equality, and let's make 2025 the year we change everything.
Okay, I have to see this. Let's go take a look at the Fat Bill of Rights.
Oh, God.
She starts out by saying, we have been treated as less than or invisible. I assure you, Jay, that...
Okay, let's read this entire thing, and then he'll get to it. The issue. For too long, fat individuals have been subject to discrimination, exclusion, and bias in almost every aspect of life. No, that's just demonstrably untrue. From healthcare to education, travel to the workplace, we've been treated as less than invisible or unworthy. Or maybe it's because you are making dumbass decisions that is making it harder on yourself to get through, basic forms of life. Of the same basic rights and accommodations as anyone else. No, it's... Millions of plus-size people around the world face daily challenges because they have decided to make stupid decisions where they've gotten fat. Whether it's being turned away from a healthcare provider, denied proper seating on a flight, or paying higher prices simply for existing in a larger body. You're not existing in a larger body. You keep shoving food down your fucking throat and expanding at the rate of the universe. Here's the thing people don't understand. The reason you're gaining weight is because you're eating more than the energy you put out on a daily basis. If you want to lose weight, eat less than the energy you put out on a daily basis. If you do that, you are going to lose weight over time. If you want to keep your weight, eat the same amount of the energy that you burn. That's it. That's how it goes. Gain weight, eat more than the energy than the energy that's outputted. Lose weight, eat less than the amount of energy that you output. Keep the weight, make it even. Easy as that. We are no longer willing to accept being silenced or erased. You guys are pretty fucking loud. It's going to be hard to erase your fat ass. It's time for change. We demand equal rights. You have equal rights. Protections. No, you are not a protected species. I'm sorry, but it's no. And accommodations for all fat individuals. You do have accommodations, especially on flights. You take up 2 seats and you have seatbelt extenders because you are too fucking fat for the seat. The Fat Equality Bill of Rights outlines the fundamental rights that fat individuals deserve. No, I'm sorry. I hate the word deserve. I hate it. Nobody deserves anything. Nobody deserves a single fucking thing in life. You want something? Work to earn it. If you do not earn it, you do not get it. Nobody deserves anything. The life you have, you don't deserve. You work to keep it. You work to earn it. Nobody deserves anything. You want something, earn it. Ensuring dignity, respect, and access to the same opportunities and services as anyone else. You have access to the same opportunities and services as anyone else. You have the same respect as anyone else. You have dignity as anyone else. The only reason you think you don't have that is because of your own stupid-ass decisions to expand your body at the rate of the universe. We are advocating for the implementation of the Fat Accessibility Act, which will set universal standards for accessibility across all public sectors, guaranteeing that fat individuals are not only seen, but given the rights, accommodations, and respect they deserve. Again, it's hard not to fucking see you when you take up the, equivalency of the fucking sun. And no, you don't deserve rights. You don't deserve accommodations. You don't deserve respect. You want rights, accommodations, and respect? Work to earn them, just like everybody else. This act will demand size-inclusive seating, equipment, accommodations, and services in healthcare, transportation, education, employment, and public spaces, while also prohibiting discrimination based on body size. Look, everybody in every form of walk of life is discriminated or in some way, shape, or form. You can't escape it. It's part of human life. And you have the same, of rights and accessibilities as everybody else has to everything. To healthcare, transportation, education, employment, and public spaces. You have all this stuff. The only reason you have a problem with it is because of your fucking size. Lose some weight and things will get easier. Simple as that. You're probably going to hear me repeat myself quite a bit because, some people can't seem to get it through their thick fucking skulls, so they need to have it said at them hundreds of times. And even sometimes it still won't get through to them. It's like talking to a brick fucking wall. However, we recognize that the needs of fat individuals vary, and your input is crucial in shaping this initiative. Please take a moment to fill out our survey to share your thoughts and help us create the most comprehensive and inclusive standards. Not everything needs inclusivity. Not everything needs inclusivity. I don't know how people cannot understand that.
That both of those things are not possible. Then she goes on about how she is mad that she has to pay more for airline seats. Let's get to her demands. Number 3, all individuals must receive healthcare in environments equipped with size-inclusive equipment, such as wider MRI machines, appropriately calibrated scales, and larger hospital gowns. Got it.
If you want to fit in an MRI machine, how about you lose some fucking weight? Lose 300 pounds and maybe you'll fit in one. I can barely fit in one. And scales are appropriately calibrated. If you exceed the weight scale, they're going to need to get a bigger one. Hell, there are some people who need an industrial size scale because they are that fucking heavy.
So she wants hospitals to spend millions of dollars on new machines so she doesn't have to go to the zoo to wait.
See, about to say it. Healthcare providers, including physical therapy clinics, dental offices, and hospitals, must implement size-appropriate seating, equipment, and staff training to accommodate fat patients comfortably. Medical professionals must also undergo mandatory weight bias training to ensure equitable treatment. If a doctor tells you that a lot of your health problems are stemming from your weight, maybe, I don't know, it's because they are stemming from your fucking weight. I tend to believe doctors because, newsflash, I haven't gone to medical school. These doctors have. They know about this stuff. They are trained to know about this stuff. They are trained to tell you the things that you need to hear. And them telling you that it's because you are a fat whale that a lot of your problems are happening. I don't know. Maybe you should take to heart that a lot of your problems are because you're a fat fucking whale. I may be just thinking logically and in reality here and not stuck in fantasy fucking land.
Weigh herself. Number 4, employers must provide accommodations such as ergonomic seating and appropriately sized uniforms. Number 5, all individuals...
Hang on. All individuals must be treated fairly in the workplace, free from discrimination based on body size. Employers must provide accommodations such as ergonomic seating and appropriately sized uniforms. Fat individuals must have equal opportunities in hiring, promotion, and salary, ensuring an inclusive and fair workplace. Look, there are some places that if you are fat, you're just not going to get the job, because there are plenty of places where you need to be able to keep up, especially manual labor jobs. If you're not able to keep up, if you're too fucking fat to do the job, I'm sorry, you're too fucking fat to do the job. Maybe lose some weight and then come back. Maybe you'll get the job. And appropriately, a uniform can only go up so much in size. Ergonomic seating, well, they should probably have that for all their employees because a lot of their chairs are just not very good. See, you have equal opportunities in hiring. It's just like I said, some jobs you're not going to be able to get because you need to be able to keep up. Promotion and salary, you have an equal opportunity for promotion and salary. Are you doing the job well? That's another conversation you probably need to be having. Have you worked to earn the promotion and salary? Again, it has nothing to do with your weight. It's just, has your work ethic been well enough?
Ergonomic seating and appropriately sized uniforms. Number 5.
All individuals, and this is right to standardized public seating. All individuals, regardless of body size, have the right to comfortable and accessible seating in all public spaces. This includes airlines, theaters, public transit, classrooms, and more. Minimum seat dimensions must accommodate all body types, with airlines and public transport providing seats with a minimum width of 22 inches and depth of 18 inches, ensuring comfort for all individuals. You would probably be able to sit comfortably in these seats if you lost maybe 400 pounds. And as for classrooms, if your kid is anywhere for elementary school, middle school, if your kid is anywhere near 300 pounds at that young, it's not the kid's fault. You have to look at what the fuck the adult is doing. Because it's not any fault of the kid for being that fucking big because he can't work to feed himself. He has to rely on his parents. I saw a video, and this was very, very fucking sad to see. I saw a video of this little girl. She looked like she's maybe 10, 11, 12 years old, maybe. I don't know. But she looked very young. She was at a playground. She looked like she was 400 or 500 fucking pounds. She was like almost double the size of the Michelin Man. It took her like 5 minutes to get up 4 steps. Every step she went up, she had to stop. I saw that, and immediately I was like, CPS needs to get called on these parents. That is just child abuse at that point. That is so wrong. Parents need to watch what they're feeding their kids and how much they're feeding their kids. Because if your kid, before they're even a teenager, gets to the point of being the size of the Michelin Man or bigger, yeah, you are a horrible fucking parent.
All individuals, regardless of body size, have the right to comfortable and accessible seating in all public spaces. Jeez, how many of these rights have to do with this woman being too fat to sit down in a regular chair?
What's heaven like? Oh, it's fine. There's a shortage of chairs. Oh.
8 of them. 8 out of...
Oh, God. Right to the Fat Accessibility Act, right to healthcare equity, right to employment equity, right to standardized public seating, right to accessible transportation, right to fat-friendly travel accommodations, right to fair housing protections. What? All individuals have the right to housing that is inclusive and accessible regardless of body size. If you can't fit through the front door of your own fucking house, you have a serious fucking problem. Housing standards should mandate that a portion of offerings include fat accessible accommodations such as a wider doorways, ramps, higher weight capacity furniture and fixtures, handled shower heads, grab bars, bidets, and other features that promote safety and comfort for all residents. Here's the thing. If you have to get a bidet because you have gotten so fat to the point where you can't wipe your own ass, or you have to increase the size of your door because you can't get into your own house because you're that fucking fat, you have way bigger problems than any of this. Way bigger problems. You need some serious life-altering decisions, because that is just sad. If I ever get to the point where I can't even wipe my own ass anymore, I have a serious problem. Right to inclusive educational environments. All of these are just so goddamn stupid.
Out of 10 of these rights have to do with sitting down. You can't make this shit up. This actually seems to be a strong concern from the body positivity movement, as multiple people involved with FatCon have expressed their concern about being too big to sit down.
What does fat joy mean to me? It means being able to go to a restaurant or a show or anywhere and not have to worry.
You're gonna hear my AC again. It got hot real quick in my place. It's like over 90 degrees outside, so it's getting hot easily in my apartment.
About squeezing into a seat.
I mean, I can think of one way that you wouldn't have that problem. You could just lose the weight. But no, you can't do that. We must think of every ridiculous excuse and cope to remove responsibility over our own lives.
Black women, when we do the same diets as white women, we lose less weight and we lose it slower. The racism that you're experiencing and the struggle to make ends meet actually means the diet don't work for you the same.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. It has been proven that there is a difference in how their body works. It's odd. It's weird. I can't explain it. I don't know how to explain it. You'd have to read up on it. But yeah, the thing is, when it comes to diets and workouts, the same thing is not going to work for every single person, because every single person's body does not react the same. You have to find out what works best for you. Now, there are some things that might work well for you the same way it works for the person that you got it from, but not everything is going to work the same for you. You have to find what works best for you.
I'm sure that's how the science works. Racism is why you can't lose weight. But going back to the people at FatCon, it is astonishing how much they will try to separate themselves from being the cause of their problems with the language that they use.
I went to REI looking for a life jacket, and I was super budget restricted. I was super broke at that point in my life.
Budget restricted? These people and their euphemisms. 5 syllables to replace a 1-syllable word.
I saw a bunch of life jackets that would fit my budget, but not my body. So when I talked to a sales rep, he basically confirmed that. Like, there was one life jacket that would maybe fit my body, and it was about 3 times more than my budget. So I basically told him, well, nothing works for me here because I don't have that money in my bank account, and none of the other ones fit my body. And as I was leaving, he basically yelled at me, "You're never going to find anything that fits your body for that price."
Pay attention to the wording. She doesn't say, "This life jacket won't fit me." Instead, she says, multiple times, "This life jacket won't fit my body." As if her body is separate from who she is. As if her decisions didn't lead her to being that size. It's not my choices, it's just the way my body is. I point this out because this is a consistent thing that fat activists do. They say things like, "I'm living in a bigger body," to remove agency over their life. You don't live in a bigger body, you have an addiction that you're not willing to correct, and you ate your way into being obese.
Later that day, I tweeted about the incident, and all this hate came in the responses. And one thing that really stands out to me is just the idea that was being communicated. That fat people don't belong in the outdoors because they're going to get injured, they're going to die, they're expensive to rescue, and that's taxpayer money. Like, that was the theme of this response thread. And it was this moment that, like, clicked in my brain, like, I am not the problem here. I am totally capable of that trip. I did it. The industry is the problem. The social barriers, the industrial barriers, the systemic barriers are the problem, not my problem.
Yeah, none of it's the problem. Oh God, this community will do everything possible, every excuse possible, even excuses that are so far out there that make no logical sense. They'll make that excuse just so they don't have to take accountability for their own actions that got them that fucking fat.
You know, probably one of the most entitled things you can do is create a problem for yourself and then call the consequences of your bad choices persecution and discrimination. Because there's this underlying implication that it's wrong for them to charge her more money for a bigger life jacket, despite the fact that it costs more materials to make, it takes up more space in the store, is less sellable than a standard size because not as many people need it, so having it take up shelf space at the store costs them money, and the larger capacity might have required more advanced design or engineering. She's offended that a bigger thing costs more, and I guarantee you that's what she's saying because it's something that's commonly said by the fat acceptance crowd. Well, I'm budget restricted, so I shouldn't have to pay more for clothes. Really? Because you weren't budget restricted when it came to food. Do you know how expensive it is to be obese?
All the other countries that wonder and say that Americans are just fat and lazy and they don't do anything to better themselves. This is what $115 gets you. This is gonna feed my kids for less than a week, and this doesn't include any dinners. There are no dinners here. This is lunch and snacks. I don't know how people are making it.
Maybe don't buy the snacks. You probably save half of that by not buying the snacks and buying actual food, actual sustenance. You know, get rid of the donuts, the Funyuns, the chips, the ice cream, all that sort of stuff, and you'll have money for, you know, actual food.
It's hard out there.
I'm actually shocked because I still live in a fantasy land in my head where people don't buy these items. I mean, sure, if you're at a party or if it's like a cheat day, go ahead and reach for the Takis, but chips, soda, ice cream, and donuts for daily consumption? People do that? Now, the narrative point of her video is a little confusing because you would think that food being expensive would make it harder for her to be overweight, but I can see why she's that size. Thin people don't eat like this. And it's the same with the strawberry lemonade that girl had earlier. You know, the one who wrote the change.org petition. Thin people don't drink calories. That's fat people behavior. I mean, these people will drink an entire meal's worth of calories multiple times a day and wonder why they can't lose weight.
What do you drink in the morning?
Chocolate milk, juice, sometimes
Chocolate
soda.
milk and juice.
Yeah.
Those are high-calorie drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really also need to stop drinking all the chocolate milk. I always have like I don't know how much it is, but like a quart or not, I think it's a quart of like chocolate milk that I bring to work. I really need to stop drinking that stuff because it's really not good for you. And I also have a bunch. I have like 2 more 2 liters in my fridge of Barks root beer and cherry Coke.
And that's really what this is all about. They're only mad because they can't lose weight and they're using fat acceptance as a cope. I mean, just look how quickly Lizzo changed her tune when she started losing weight.
You look good, queen. Hold on. Hold on. Let me show the fit then. Let me give you the fit details because you already know.
Hang on, that's Lizzo? Holy fuck. Damn, she lost a whole person.
You already know I'm in that giddy. You already know I'm in that motherfucking giddy, ho. I'm in that giddy.
Here's the thing, Adele did the same thing, and the fat community absolutely fucking flamed her for losing weight.
Eloquently said. But this is strange because I have this article here saying that you like being fat. It's so strange that the minute Ozempic gets popularized for weight loss, Lizzo starts dumping weight. What happened to, I have a really hot body, I'm a body icon? Interesting how that narrative is gone the minute that the medical industry gets effective weight loss drugs.
Ozempic and the body condition of most of the people at the Golden Globes shows that the fat acceptance movement was all a scam. The moment that you had an easy route out of being overweight, body positivity went out of the window.
That's so true, because they're such hypocrites, they're such pieces of shit.
Now the ones who are not trying to manage their weight are becoming so radical that they are now just saying the quiet part out loud. For context, this image is censored because she's naked, which probably violates Instagram's community guidelines. But anyway, the post says, if you think body positivity is all about helping thin folks, find another opportunity to celebrate their bodies. Thank you for admitting to that. I mean, we all pretty much expected that body positivity had nothing to do with people who have real problems, like a missing limb or a horrible skin condition.
Yeah, see, the body positivity movement was originally made for people who have conditions or body things that they have no control over. Like you said, missing limbs, deformed faces, horrible second or third degree burns, that, you know, stuff that they actually can't get rid of or were born with. That's what the body positivity movement was for. For some fucked up reason, the fat whales decided to hijack it and make it all about them.
Contrary to what the media has been gaslighting us about for years, it's always been about obese people. And probably one of the more disturbing parts of FatCon is this here.
Welcome to day one of FatCon 2025. We're so excited to have so many amazing guest speakers, keynote speakers, workshops, panels, you name it, from fat liberation parenting.
What exactly is fat liberation parenting? Are you telling kids that it's okay to be obese? Well, let's just go to the website. Here we can see a picture of two whales, which, considering the context, was probably not the best choice for a stocking.
The irony in the picture. The irony has just flown over their fucking heads. It is goddamn hilarious. Oh, the irony in this.
But the description says that fat liberation is a practice. It's raising resilient kids in a fat-phobic world. It's fighting anti-fat bias and oppression. And how exactly are you doing that? Again, are you telling kids that it's okay to be obese? Because that seems to be the general narrative of FatCon. Lower down it says, fat phobia and diet culture bombards parents with the harmful message that the worst outcome for ourselves and our kids is to be fat.
That's because it is. Because being fat relates to a lot of health problems. People wouldn't have a lot of the health problems they have if they weren't fat.
Then next to it is a picture of a child who's...
These messages are relentless and can come at us from social media, news articles, friends, families, and even healthcare providers. And these anti-fat biases ingrain the belief that thinness equals health. Look, there are thin people who are also just as unhealthy as fat people. Equals health, happiness, and success. Consequently, as parents of newborns to teenagers, we're worrying about how to ensure our kids are healthy, growing enough but not too much on the pediatrician's weight chart. We're fixated on treats and sweets. We're trying to make sure our kids don't get bullied at school or that their self-image and confidence aren't just tied to looks. Raising a child to have a secure relationship with their body can feel like navigating a minefield. Nobody in this world should be okay with being fat. They just should not, because a lot of health problems stem from being fat. Same thing with being thin. Being thin can be just as unhealthy as being fat.
Then, again, who's picking these stock images? I thought we were trying to get rid of weight stigma. Last, it says that weight isn't connected to health.
Yes, it is.
Suggesting that doctors' recommendations about obesity are wrong. So they are saying that childhood obesity is okay.
You're wrong because I say so and it's how I feel. Telling a doctor he's wrong. They get so butthurt over them being told that they wouldn't have all these health problems if they lost weight. They immediately go, no, it's not because of my weight. Where, what was me? We know we want to do better for our kids, so we're gingerly exploring the idea that weight isn't connected to health, which it actually is. The body diversity has always existed and is a beautiful thing. That fat can be just as a neutral description. No, it cannot. Doubts can creep in through with a headline about pediatrician recommendations, a passing remark from a grandparent, a pair of pants outgrown. That's when having a set of values and a fat liberation framework to fall back on, along with a group of other parents who are supporting you, can be crucial. Oh, God, this is so stupid.
Yet again, radical leftists feel no problem thrusting their harmful ideology onto children. Stuff like this is why people on the moderate left who don't have insane and unscientific beliefs are fleeing the party. Anyway, the founder of Fat Liberation Parenting goes on to describe herself as mid-fat when she really means obese. But more importantly, the big problem that I have with the stuff around children is that if you don't teach children healthy habits when they're young, then the odds of them becoming morbidly obese adults skyrockets. And I bring this up because recently I've been binging My 600 Pound...
Oh my god. She doesn't... She has fat stubs with a foot attached. That's just fat with a foot.
life. And if you watch that show, then right away it becomes very apparent that the weight is a huge problem in the lives of the people who are on that show, as most of them can't walk more than a few steps.
Once you stand up, you feel all the weight on your legs. I am very terrified of falling. I have gotten to where I use an office chair in the house in order to be able to maneuver where I need to go.
Imagine having to sit down in a chair just to go the distance of about 5 or 10 steps to leave your bedroom. It gets worse. The amount she struggles just to sit down in a car is ridiculous.
There you go.
She's at this point and she doesn't see a problem? How are you at this point and you don't look at yourself saying, I have a serious problem. I need to fix myself or I'm going to die early?
This is actually very common for this show. Half of My 600-Pound Life is like watching someone play a game of Oregon Trail because they're required to go to Houston to visit the doctor before he'll work with them, and they are so big that it's actually dangerous for them to travel in a car for prolonged periods of time. And in this particular episode, their car broke down and they got stuck out in the middle of the freeway in super hot weather. But that's not even the worst part. The worst part comes from the first few minutes of the episode, where Delana struggles to walk from a car to the front door.
1, 2, 3. It was gonna happen.
Can you crawl?
No, my knees hurt.
We need an ambulance. My daughter has fallen and we can't get her up.
1, 2, 3. Damn it, 2 more steps. Ow! Ow! It hurts. Oh my god, my knee!
She couldn't do it. Not only could she not walk up the stairs, not only did she have to call 911 to get back up after she fell, but they also had to destroy her porch and get 6 different people to lift her back up into the house. So when you don't correct children's eating habits and you tell them that it's healthy to be fat, you are putting them at a much higher risk of living this lifestyle when they get older. Fortunately, Delana was one of the good episodes, and by the end of the show, she lost a pretty significant amount of weight and got her mobility back. Kind of an inspiring story because in reality,
I think some of the most inspiring stories when it comes to losing weight are the big people who you know, they're like 400 or 500 pounds or so. You see them going to the gym and putting in a large amount of effort just to get healthier and to show people that if you have enough determination and you put in enough effort, you can get better, you can be healthier, you can become a better person. Those are the type of stories people need to see. That, you know, you could be so far down in the dumps, you could hit rock bottom, but you put in the effort, you can build yourself back up. Those are the inspiring stories.
a lot of the participants on this show don't lose any weight, and I actually find those episodes incredibly depressing and difficult to watch. But the more I look at the fat acceptance stuff, the more disgusted I am with how much time they spend coping and living in delusion instead of getting to work.
I'm a fat athlete, and despite 15 years of experience and being a certified personal trainer, whenever I walk into a fitness space, everyone assumes I'm a beginner.
There's no such thing as a fat athlete. I'm sorry, there just isn't. It's oh, fat athlete. It's like saying, you know, chess players are athletes, or, you know, video game players are athletes. It's just, it makes no sense.
Who needs an obese personal trainer? Like 90% of the people who hire a trainer are doing so to lose weight.
Yeah, when you when you hire a trainer, you expect the person that comes in as your trainer to, you know, look like a person who actually, you know, is fit, who actually knows how to train, who actually trains himself. That's the type of person you expect to see. You don't expect to see the fucking Michelin Man come in and think, oh fuck this, what the hell?
And the reason they think that you're a beginner is because you look like the before photo in someone's fitness journey. Also, I found her Instagram, and not only does she have basically no examples of her workout performance, but the one time she did post a workout, you can read the description and see that she clearly has no idea how to make a person fit. Using 1-pound dumbbells and changing the exercises every workout is exactly how a beginner would teach fitness. But as for actually losing the weight and making the change, sure, I can go over a ton of different strategies to make that easier, and I have done that in many videos because fitness and weight loss are a specialty of mine, but the most important thing for any change is to stop making excuses and just get out there and do it. Plenty of people love to spend months to years consuming self-help content, followed by never making a change. Sure, having lots of background knowledge is great, but the most important part of self-improvement is that you actually start implementing the new things that you've learned as soon as possible. I like to think of it this way. If you want things to get better, then at some point you're going to have to bite the bullet and get to work. So why not just do that now? Stop waiting. If you need to jump into a cold pool of water, waiting 20 minutes doesn't make it any warmer. The only thing that works is jumping in and dealing with the discomfort. So why prolong that? Just get it over with. In fact, the longer you wait, the more anxiety will build, which will make it less likely that you'll make a change. So just get out there and do it. Anyway, thanks for watching, follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video.
Yeah, that's the thing. These fat activists, if you want to call them that, they choose to not take any accountability for their own actions or their decisions, and they blame the entire world for their problems, and they absolutely refuse to do anything to improve their lives or improve their health. It's really fucking sad.